When your client stops talking, that's not your turn to talk. That's your turn to think. Think about it. They were talking. You should have been listening. Now they've stopped. Now you get to think. And here's the thing. Most coaches miss. So does the client. Let me walk you through what should happen. When your client is speaking, your job is to listen deeply, not to plan your next question, not to formulate your response. Just listen. Then they stop. And most coaches think, okay, my turn. No. When they stop talking, they still need processing time. And so do you. When they stop talking, that's actually your turn to think, because you shouldn't be thinking when they're talking. You should be listening when they're talking. The pause gives them space to go deeper into their thinking, and it gives you space to genuinely consider what you just heard. Now, here's what happens when you don't pause. If you are jumping in right on top of them and asking questions, that sends a message. It says, have your answers ready. We're moving fast. Get it together quickly. Hand it back so I can ask another question. Your pace creates their pressure. When you rush, clients feel they must perform rather than explore. They start thinking about what you want to hear instead of what's actually true for them. Is that the coaching experience you want to create? ICF says the coach creates or allows space for silence, for pause, and for reflection. Your comfort with silence gives them permission to have space. If you slow down, it gives permission to the client to take the time they need to think. Slowing down is a gift. It honors their thinking process. It deepens their insight. You don't have to ask a question the second they stop talking. You really don't. Here's something important to understand about how people process. Many people think while they speak, they're talking through ideas out loud. The words help them discover what they actually think. And so people will be talking and thinking and saying things, and they'll be processing as they go along. And they might stop. And if you jump right in, you just pulled them off to a different direction. But often when they stop, that bit of silence you leave, they might actually start talking again. They might go deeper. They might discover something they didn't know they knew, but only if you give them the space. So here's what to do instead. When your client finishes talking and looks at you, pause. Resist the urge to immediately respond. Take a breath. Ground yourself in the present moment. Then think about what you heard. Because you were listening, not planning, now's when you actually get to process their words. Then ask your next question from a place of genuine curiosity, not hurried reaction. This space gives clients permission to take the time they need to think deeply and access their own wisdom. So here's what I want you to remember. If you slow down, it gives permission to the client to take the time they need to think. Your silence is not empty. It's full of possibility, full of respect, full of trust in the client's process. We've now covered all 7 markers of presence. Let's pull it all together and see where you go from here.